Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Larkin, one half of the Steve and Mike Show and one fourth of the Bodega Wrestling Podcast. We're here to talk about the United We Stand predictions. We're going to be talking about United We Stand Impact Wrestling, which will air this Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern on the Fight app. And I'm not alone to talk about this great show with you. I'm on the line with Chef, as always. Chef, how you doing?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. I'm excited about this one. It's not like I'm excited for the United We Stand podcast. I'm not excited about doing this. I'm excited about who we're bringing in today. That's who I'm more excited about.
Oh, yes. So we got her. She's from the UK. I'm talking about Nicola. Nicola, longtime Impact Wrestling fan. Nicola, how you doing this morning?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. How are you both doing?
Doing well. I mean, we're going to be talking about some United We Stand. It's a big week for professional wrestling. Impact Wrestling, United We Stand Thursday. Then we got Mania weekend, so there's a lot of wrestling going on. So I just look forward to talking some news and talking some wrestling with you guys because, first and foremost, I got to say this to you both. I want to get your guys' thoughts because this show was originally supposed to be free on Twitch, and there was a last-minute bait and switch on the Fight app, and now it's $20 on the Fight app. So I got to ask you both. We'll start with Nicola first, ladies first. What were your thoughts about that bait and switch that Impact pulled?
I don't think it was the greatest idea because obviously a lot of it is to do with obviously more money, but at the same time, it's a good thing as well. That makes sense.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I definitely see where you're coming from. And now, Chef, I got to ask you, sir, what were your thoughts about the whole bait and switch?
Well, I can't do it. I can't be the nice guy here. There's always got to be a bad cop. You know what I mean? There's always got to be one, and I like being the bad guy. So I take it as more of a – I'm not going to say a slap in the face to the fans because that's just foul. But to be honest with you, when you do something like this, it's a bad eye in what people have already kind of taken shots at Impact and Anthem, and they constantly do things that make no sense. But I understand. Listen, the card looks good. It's $20, not that big of a deal. But at the same time, it's like if you would have started from Jump Street and said, listen, it's $19.99 on pay-per-view, nobody would have had any opportunity to sandbag this. But because they did it the way they did, now everybody has the options to go at it. So I'm on the fence. I understand. Listen, $20, not that bad. I think it's a good card. But at the same time, I do side with both. I'm not trying to play the fence. Since I'm a bad guy, I say it sucks.
Okay. Well, then there's the other thing about this is, well, it's Thursday. It's 11 p.m. Eastern on a Thursday night. So I got to say, for you over there in the UK, our UK friend, Miss Nicola, I believe was at 6 p.m. your time it starts?
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. our time, yeah.
Okay.
It is. And that's not actually a bad time because there's obviously always a lot of conflict about the timing and stuff like that for us over here because a lot of the UK fans are always seem to be unhappy about the time schedules. So it's kind of, it doesn't faze me because I'm always, me, I'm an Impact fan, so I'm always going to be there watching no matter what. So, yeah.
Okay, and then the other thing I'll get is the bad cop's opinion about this.
Hold on. You know what I was going to say? I was going to go in. When I heard it was 11:30, I was like, this is some bullshit. But to be honest with you, like, if you listen to what she just said right now, it's one thing, and I respect the shit out of her being, such a loyal fan to Impact and all that. That's fucking awesome.
Yes.
But why should they not get the opportunity to watch it at a normal hour as well? Like, why should any American complain that, it's at 11:30 at night? All right, well, they get their shit at crazy hours, too, all the time. So stop complaining. Like, let them get their shine, too.
Well, yeah, it's like when people talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like, here for us in the States, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, but, it's later in the UK and Japan, respectively. So, yes, I agree with you, get the shine. I totally understand, so I agree. Okay, so let's get into this card. Well, first and foremost, it's at the Rahway Recreation Center. Now, when you look at Rahway in New Jersey with United We Stand, makes me think about Jersey All Pro Wrestling. Like, for instance, we have Low Key who's on this card. We're going to talk about his match. Homicide is a guy from there, Jersey All Pro Wrestling. Azrael, Trent Acid, rest in peace, and Johnny Cashmere, the Backseat Boys. Amazing Red, who just we now know is retired. So with the Rahway Recreation Center, I think it's very interesting that they're doing it at this venue because you look at Jersey All Pro Wrestling and its alumni, which have gone on to WWE, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and all respectively. respectively. So I think this particular venue has a lot of, oomph in it because there's a lot of historical wrestling reference and overall history here. So I think it's very cool that they're doing it here. And as far as New Jersey goes, like we talked about, it's Mania weekend Northeast, and they got this card here. So I think let's just dive right into it. I just wanted to add that little tidbit about the venue. So to start us off.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Can I say something?
Yes, you can.
Okay. How are they going to do this in Jersey when New York is right across the water?
Okay, so I believe MLW has a show. Their show is first. That's going to be at around 8 to 10-ish. So then they go right over an hour to Rahway.
So you're telling me that there's no places in Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, or the Bronx that they could have done this and kept it in New York City?
Well, MLW's doing the Melrose Ballroom, and I understand you, but yeah, they went from Melrose, and then whoever's on that show that's also going to be on Impact is going to be driving over. Yeah.
So you're telling me nobody could use the Hammerstein Bull?
No, because I guess not.
All right, my fault. I'm just being a little salty right now. I don't mess with Jersey like that. If you're listening from Jersey, my bad. But, I'm New York all day.
By the way, I fully expected that, mister. You got to rep my city, so it's okay. I kind of knew where you were going with it, so it's all good.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
All good. So let's start us off here. Well, this matchup was very interesting because this matchup was originally supposed to be Tessa Blanchard versus Eli Drake, but Eli Drake respectively said, no disrespect to her, I love to wrestle her, but no. So Eli Drake said no, and Impact brought in Mr. Dick Plex, Mr. Penis Flipper himself, Joey Ryan. Now, as a guy who's been watching Joey Ryan since the Wrestling Society X days as a part of that 70s team in 2007, and his initial run in Impact Wrestling. That's okay. His initial run in Impact Wrestling, when he was with Matt Morgan and he was a part of the Gut Check and the whole nine, he played the sleazeball character. He's got that 80s porn star vibe about him. His run in Lucha Underground. It is what it is. People like it. Some people don't. I guess I'm a wrestling purist, if you want to say that. I'm kind of like, with his whole shtick. But with this particular matchup, like we saw not too long ago at Against All Odds with Scarlett Bordeaux and Disco Inferno, we're going to see more intergender style wrestling here. So in this particular case, I'm going to say Tessa Blanchard, the undeniable one that is her, is going to get that dub over Joey Ryan. I'm sure it'll be a fine matchup, but I got to go Tessa. I got to go lady in here. So, Nicola, are you going to go with Tessa Blanchard, or are you going to go with Mr. Joey Ryan?
I'm with Tessa Blanchard 100% because, as you said, when I used to see Joe Ryan come out, I used to literally think, oh my God, what is that walking down the ramp? He's new. The way he used to look, it definitely came across as like a porn star. So you'd be sitting there looking, going, what is he doing? But as a wrestler, he's awesome to watch, though. So I can't deny him of that. He's really, really good. But I'm with Tessa 100% without a doubt.
And
he will absolutely wipe the floor with him.
Oh, yeah. And just to add to that, that's the thing. Before, he was actually a very solid wrestler. It's just the thing that got him over is, the work with his genitalia and the whole nine. But, Chef, give me your thoughts. Tessa or Joey Ryan?
You already know there's no way I'm going with Joey Ryan.
I know.
No, ever. I love Tessa, though. I think Tessa is one of the top 5 females in the game right now. I think she's unbelievably talented. Wish she had a better match here. I'm not saying the match is going to be whack or nothing like that. I'm just saying, something that propelled her forward. Something storyline where I don't know. I just feel like this. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this match. So I hope it's a good match. I think it's going to be a really good match. I'm going with Tessa, no question. And I hope Tessa just bodies this dude.
I have to just say this on a side note. I think what's very interesting about it is Tessa has even been going more at the man who was originally supposed to be her opponent, Eli Drake. I don't know if you guys saw, but she's like, I'm sure myself, Taya, Jordan Grace, and all the knockouts will kick Eli's ass. And I'm like, geez, she's throwing that shade at Eli Drake's way. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's bad? And we got to warn Nicola this now, is when me and you do predictions and we pick the same person, they usually lose.
Probably.
So I might have just doomed your pick. I hope not, but I'm really bad at picking these things. I don't know why. I'm just horrible.
No, I've had you predict before, Chef, and you've 9 times out of 10 always been pretty right. So
yeah.
It's only when we completely agree. Like when me and Larkin agree, it never works.
Well, we like to have our sense and do some logic into it, but yeah, let's just throw logic out the window. But no, I think in this case, like obviously Joey Ryan has the Joey Ryan penis party that's coming Mania weekend. Yes, that's gonna be a thing, and I mean he's gonna be doing some more events. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Nicola. Go ahead.
No, I was laughing at what you were saying.
It's what it's called. It's the penis party, and I mean, that's one of the big events over Mania weekend. And Tessa Blanchard, I gotta say this, and I'm very happy about this. As someone who's watched her, she's currently the WoW Women of Wrestling champion, and I'm so happy to see that season 2 is coming back for that. So if you guys have not seen WoW season 2, it's going to be on Access TV. She's the champion, and WoW just opened their own women's wrestling school. So I think that on a plus side is good for the ladies because we get more talent produced out of there. So I think I look at Tessa on WoW, and I think I look at Tessa on Impact, and I've seen her work in NXT as a part of the Mae Young Classic, going against like Kairi Sane and more. So I think that, like you mentioned, like Chef, she's absolutely amazing, and again, just is going to be great to see what we have coming up with her. And I'm sure Gail Kim is in the works, but I just had to put that out there because 100% on Tessa. We're all going Tessa. She's undeniable. Oh yeah. So we're going to continue this with the ladies. So we're going to go to the Knockouts Championship match. It's a 4-way match. And speaking of WoW, Katie Forbes, a.k.a. Chloe Hertz, who is on WoW, will be in this matchup. Katie Forbes is the girlfriend of one Rob Van Dam, and she will be in this matchup along with Rosemary, Jordan Grace, and the current reigning and defending Impact Knockouts champion, that is Taya Valkyrie. Now with me, I'm sure we're going to continue because Taya's now a heel. Her and Johnny, like much in Lucha Underground, are heels. I'm going to go with Taya Valkyrie to take it here, and I think we're going to see more progression in the feud with her and Jordan Grace because that was very indecisive this past week on Impact. Count out, Johnny getting involved, Taya with the shenanigans. So I'm going to say Taya finds a way to hold out here. La Huera Loca. I'm going to say Taya retains. Nicola, who you going with? Taya Valkyrie, Jordan Grace, Katie Forbes, or Rosemary?
Oh, this is a tough one because everyone who knows me knows I am huge Rosemary fan. I have been for a very long time, and obviously with everything that's going on with her at the minute, I can see her going absolutely batshit crazy at everything. I can see destruction coming with her big time at the minute. So, but I also like Jordan. She is so strong to watch in the ring. She is, I don't know, she just lifts so many people and just launches them across the room, and I just love watching her. Taya, I'm loving the heel thing with her because she's very good at it. It suits her personality, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. And the other one, I'm not 100% on, and I don't know too much about her, if I'm honest. So, yeah, but Rosemary, definitely. That's only because I'm a huge demon girl.
Okay. Well, on a side note here, I will say, Nico, Katie Forbes is very solid. Like I told you, she was on WoW, so you get to see her in there. She's actually not bad, and I look forward to seeing her getting her shine as well with the inclusion in this show. So, Chef, your choices again are Taya Valkyrie, Katie Forbes, Rosemary, or Jordan Grace. Who's walking out with the Knockouts Championship, Chef?
See, at first I wanted to say Jordana Grace because I was like, yeah, I dig her. I think she's super cool. Mm-hmm. But like, ever since Jump Street, when I first seen Taya Valkyrie come into the Impact Zone, because I don't watch Lucha Underground, I admit that. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know her work. So when she first came in and she had the crown and shit, and she looked like, I don't know, she looked like some kind of like Disney villain, you know what I mean? Like the Snow Queen or some shit. And I was like, oh my God, this chick is dope as shit. And she's all mopping people up. And I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? So I'm going to stick with Taya just because I'm a Taya mark. I'm going to admit that over and over and over again. So I'm picking Taya straight up, and I think that she's going to pin Katie Forbes.
That's exactly, well, again, we'll agree with this because I think Katie Forbes is just in there to eat the pin. And again, also because Rob is there and that's his boo. But no, I mean, like, Katie Forbes, it's interesting, man, because, like, if you see her on WoW, the gimmick is she comes out with her ring rats, and they are guy ring rats. So for anybody that's thinking different with the ring rats, there's guy ring rats that carry her to the ring. She's kind of got this heel persona. She's not bad, like I said. I'm very interested to see her get her shine here and get her showcased.
Oh, see, that's the thing. It's not that no one's putting her down.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just saying, oh, well, she's going to eat the pin because she's the whack one. No.
Exactly.
This chick she's very talented, absolutely beautiful. Love her gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, I think that the whole fact that, people always want to portray ring rats as just female fans. No, these guys wish they could be ring rats too. Like, don't get it twisted. So it's a great look. I dig her. I think Katie Forbes is really cool. It's just, I think that, it's the first time she's really coming in. So you're not going to have Rosemary take a pin, or you're not going to have Taya take a pin. You know what I mean? So I think if anyone does it, it's going to be Katie Forbes.
I'm going to make a UK tie-in reference here because at MediaCon, we saw Lana Austin take on Su Yung. And, I mean, obviously we knew Lana Austin was going to eat the pin, but she got her shine in there. So I figured we'd tie that into there because I know, Miss Nicola, you saw MediaCon, Su Yung and Lana Austin. Lana Austin just did her thing on NXT UK, so we had to make the UK reference in there.
Yep. No, you're right. Spot on. She did, didn't she? She did do a lot of shining as well. Even though she took the pin, she did shine.
Exactly.
And I did love watching her fight. Right. I have this thing when I'm watching wrestling, I just kind of zone out and I ignore everything else that's going on. And I'm like, she's badass. So there'll be people talking to me and I'll be like, no, go away. Don't talk to me.
I'm focused. Let me be. Let me watch my wrestling. I get you.
Exactly.
All right. Now, this matchup, okay, we've had a lot of bait and switches here. This is another bait and switch. Now, it was originally supposed to be Yamato fighting for that X Division Championship, and him and a lot of the Dragon Gate stars, travel issues, visas. We now have a new gentleman in this matchup for the X Division Championship. It is Flamita. Now, for those that don't know who Flamita is, he has wrestled in Lucha Libre Worldwide, AAA Worldwide, done a lot of work in Mexico, and has actually wrestled Yamato. He's actually wrestled in Dragon Gate for about 2 or 3 years, and from 2013 to 2016. So Flamita is the replacement for Yamato, and he's going to be taking on Rich Swann for the X Division Championship, kind of like a Rey Mysterio, Phil. Now, someone who I know we both have put down here, Chef, just because he's also a prick. I'm talking about Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer's very high on Flamita. He said he's kind of like that Rey Mysterio type of deal. I'm interested to see how he shines here. I'm looking forward to seeing him. So we got Rich Swann and we got Flamita. X Division Championship is on the line. Nicola, we're going to start with you. Are you going to go Rich Swann to retain, or are you going to go now with Flamita, who is replacing Yamato?
Flamita, because I do like Rich Swann, but I don't know. There's something about him. I'm a bit on the fence with him, really, because I like him, but I don't know. Someone needs to beat him. I don't know why. It's just my feeling towards him is that someone needs to take that off of him, and it should be somewhere else, if you know what I mean. I like Rich Swann, but he's not, for me personally, X Division, if that makes any sense.
All right, I'm going to give my thoughts about that when we're done. Let's let Chef go first. Chef, are you going to go with Rich Swann or Flamita, X Division Championship on the line?
I'm going to go with Flamita, but I'm going to tell you now, I love her explanation for that because I don't even have to say shit. I'm just going to leave it as I'm going to pick the other guy, and I'm just going to side and co-sign everything she just said.
Okay. Now, my thought about this is, too, I think Rich Swann, I think they're going to progress more with that. Well, we're going to get to Sami Callihan in a second, but I think they're going to progress more with Sami Callihan going into Rebellion because that thing's still going on, and they got Madman Fulton in the mix now with OVE, so that's why I'm going with it. But Flamita, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of talents here. If we get a surprise like that, I would be okay with it. And I think, like I said, I'm so happy that everybody's getting their shine in here, and I think we're going to see a lot of solid actions here that I think a lot of people will be happy with. So, speaking of people getting their shine, this moves us now to Ultimate X. It is Jake Crist versus Dante Fox, the former AR Fox and Lucha Underground there. Jack Evans representing AAA. Pat Buck representing WrestlePro. Koto Brazil representing MLW. And the sixth man we now found out is Johnny Impact, because Johnny Impact says, I'm not going to be on the same team as Brian Cage and Team Impact versus Team Lucha Underground, which we're going to get into. So hey, I'm going to be in the Ultimate X. Now, the winner of this matchup receives a future X Division Championship matchup. So I'm going to go say it right now. I'm going to say the mini draw gets the W in this. Jake Crist, and again the participants are Jake Crist, Dante Fox, Jack Evans, Pat Buck, Koto Brazil, and Johnny Impact. Nicola, who you going with?
I'm also going with Jake Crist because he is something totally different to watch fighting. He's like a little squirrel. He just jumps around everywhere and he just kicks ass, basically. So when he's run, but also it's because I want to see someone put Johnny Impact down as well. I want it to be him that pins him, because he's the heel thing they're doing with him at the minute. I'm liking, but I just seriously wanted to see someone floor him. Really do right now. Jake Crist, really.
On a side note, Nicola, I have to ask you, because they're kind of representing what they had in AAA. What do you think about a little bit of the alliance with Johnny Impact, Taya Valkyrie, and Killer Cross?
I'm loving that, because I love Cross. I'm a huge, huge, huge Cross fan, as you're very aware of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I like it, but then no, I'm loving it. I'm loving every part of the three of them. But I do hope that Cross turns on them just to make it worse. If you know what I mean. So he plays them a lot, and then he all of a sudden goes, "Do you know what? I've had enough," and starts hitting down on him as well. So I'm kind of hoping he turns on Johnny, if that makes any sense.
Some more mind games. I feel you. It all comes full circle with the mind games. I feel you. I like your style, the psychology. All right, now, Chef, I'm going to read it off to you again just so you know. We have Jake.
I already know who I'm picking.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Go ahead, Chef.
Oh, yeah, I'm only picking one guy, and that's Cotto Brazil. I think he's super talented. Like, a lot of people, I know they're not big fans of MLW or they don't really know the product. Cotto Brazil, to me, is like the best kept secret right now. Dude is super talented. He can do anything. I think this is the match that could put him on the map. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say, Impact's the biggest thing or MLW is not big enough. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that this is a huge opportunity with a lot of talented people in one match. And if he could do what I think he can do, he could showcase himself to a bigger viewing. And, hopefully we'll see more MLW Impact stuff. I don't know. But I'm picking Cotto Brazil, no question. What I was going to say is, what does it feel like to have two aggressive people on the same podcast? I'm asking you, Larkin, that because if you haven't noticed the trends, she likes to see people get beat up too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I do. That's not a lie. That is literally true. I will sit there and, I turn into a total different person when I'm watching Impact. I really do. And live track, I'm worse. A lot worse.
Larkin, you got two aggressive people on here, so just be careful.
Actually, I'm okay with it because I'm used to you and you're my boy. And Nicola's awesome because, like I said, I got no problem with it. I like the aggressiveness. I like the rawness about it. And I like how, I was about to say, I like how you just said, don't even read it again. I'm just going to go and go to Brazil. Okay, one other thing I will ask you, Chef, like I did with Nicola. With Johnny Impact, I got to ask you, first part, two parts. What do you think about the inception of Johnny Impact into this because of the whole thing with Brian Cage? And what do you think about how they're doing like the AAA stuff with him, Taya Valkyrie, and Killer Cross?
Could care less about him in general.
Okay.
Not a fan of him. I like I said, he was like the first guy that they reference like the parkour thing. So I like his style. I just think that, I don't know. I think by now, and obviously a lot of people will agree, I think that Cross should have already been the guy, you're building the company on. And I just feel like because Morrison has that WWE name that he's getting that push and that push and that push. I like it with Taya. I dig that, they're real husband and wives. They're dominating. I think that's super cool. Just not a fan of the guy. And to be honest with you, who better to kick his ass than Killer Cross? So hopefully that happens sooner than later.
TikTok, man. Everybody pays the toll. I feel you. All right, now, speaking of feel you, we're going to go to this next matchup. It's something that we referenced before. It's an 8-man tag, but we don't know who is going to be the fourth guy on Team Impact. It is Team Impact, represented by Brian Cage, Eddie Edwards, Moose, and To Be Determined, versus the team of Team Lucha Underground, which is Aerostar, Drago, King Cuerno, a.k.a. El Hijo del Fantasma, and Daga, who was the boo of one Tessa Blanchard, very talented individual who's part of the Reptile Tribe in Lucha Underground. Personally, well, we don't know who the TBD is, and personally, I would not be shocked. If you want to progress and go with the storyline with him and Eddie Edwards, I'd put Eli Drake in this matchup representing Team Impact. Or if you want to do a swerve, Willie Mack ain't on this card, and Willie Mack was in Lucha Underground. Have Willie Mack, who was a Lucha Underground star and he's now in Impact, put him on Team Impact. It all comes full circle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on, first and foremost, who do you want to win, and who do you think the fourth man's going to be on Team Impact? Nicola, I will start with you.
Okay. Obviously, Team Impact, no matter what. But as for the fourth person, I'd say Eli Drake, because obviously Eddie Edwards is there. He's got his friend Kenny, and he does like his friend Kenny a lot. That stick comes out quite a lot, doesn't it, really, with him? So, but I love Brian Cage as well. So, but I'm not sure how Moose and Brian Cage will work, because obviously they've had their past stuff, haven't they, as well, where Moose has jumped Cage because he was with Cross and obviously with Cross. So I'm kind of wondering will there be some kind, like, will they connect properly when they're in the match, or will they be too busy fighting each other, barring fighting the Lucas, if that makes, stop saying if that makes sense. Sorry. But yeah.
Okay.
Team Impact, but Eli Drake.
All righty.
Definitely.
Chef, first and foremost, are you going with Team Impact or Team Lucha, and who do you think the fourth man will be?
Well, you know what? I'm going to have to do this in two parts because I'm going to pick Team Lucha if anybody on the current Impact roster is the fourth guy, okay? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pick Team Lucha to win. But what I think should happen is Impact should pick up their phone, call a certain Chesterfield Plague, and be like, yo, big homie, we need you to come through and mop up some Lucha Underground people. And if that happens, I'll pick Team Impact.
I'm not shocked at all that you went for the Chesterfield Plague.
Well, listen, what would a podcast be if I don't shout out the big homie?
I know.
And of course he has to, because I'm on here as well, and he knows that I'm a huge fan of the same person as well. So yeah, you know.
Wink, wink. I didn't know that. Wink, wink.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So, all right. And I mean, Team Lucha, we got Aerostar, we got Drago, King Corn, and Dog, and I'm looking forward to it. But yes, I would love to see a Bram. I agree with you. I was always a fan of Bram as well. Here's the thing. Like, with Eli Drake, I don't know what I could say with this man, because I'm just like, he could be used so much better. I think ever since the match with Abyss, and now he's doing the thing with Eddie Edwards. I mean, what do you think about, and well, this also ties into this because this is coming up. He did put the hashtag Last Dance with Rebellion. What do you guys think about the way Eli Drake is being used? I'll start with you, Nicola.
I think he could be used better. I think they've taken him backwards, because obviously he was champion for so long, and then they kind of didn't use him properly. Oh, this is how I felt. He wasn't being used properly. So they were putting him in, it seemed like, pointless matches. So, like, people he was against weren't someone that he weren't using his full potential for it. But I do think they should use him a lot better than what I am liking the Eddie Edwards and him thing at the minute. I do think that's a lot better than what they were doing with him maybe this time last year.
All right.
Maybe. Like, yeah.
And I'll give this over to Chef. Chef, thoughts on the way Eli Drake's being used?
Man, you know this subject makes me angry, right?
I know, but it's okay. Right. Let it out.
All right. So, after they completely jobbed him out to that vanilla midget Austin Aries.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying, let's be real.
I know.
They just cheated on him in 16 seconds, which is absolutely bullshit. They haven't done shit with him else. And then you throw him with Eddie Edwards. But to be honest with you, after Eddie Edwards had his old little cycle thing, and I was digging it for a while, you kind of just threw them together and was like, okay, Eddie's a big enough name to try to boost him back up. But to be honest with you, what really is happening between the two of them? Is there really a winner after this? Because let's just say the whole hashtag Last Dance, right? Mm-hmm. If Eli Drake decides, you know what, fuck this, I'm out, goes anywhere else, what does it really do for Eddie Edwards? It does nothing. And then all of a sudden Eddie Edwards is in a middle ground where you're like, damn, we put the belt on this guy, a little while ago, and I was not a fan of it, but great guy, love Eddie Edwards, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. But you're going to put him into a position where, if you look at it, the Lucha Underground guys are all rising to the top. The Impact guys are kind of falling back. And you'll have him in a position where, what happens now? And Eli Drake is like, fuck it, I'm out. If he's out, and then he gets stuck in the middle ground. I hate how they've done Eli Drake completely. I think he should have a microphone in his hand. I don't even think, listen, you don't even need to put him in a match to make Eli Drake go over. He could just talk mad shit, and people will love it. And for some reason, Impact doesn't realize that this guy on a microphone is absolutely gold. So if he does stay, hopefully, they do have something going forward where they're like, listen, we're going to project you here. We're going to do this with you. Maybe even give the tag team belts to Eli Drake and Eddie Edwards. I don't know, but hopefully if he does stay, both of them go forward.
I will say this now, it wouldn't also be a podcast if we weren't mentioning not only Bram, but the vegan wonder that Chef brought up there. That is Austin Aries. So, I mean, like, I agree. Like, as someone who's been watching his career since The Rising, when it was him, Micah, who is now Tangaloa in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Drew Galloway, who was standing up for professional wrestling at the time. I mean, like,
everyone loves Drew. I'm just telling you, Drew is just one of those guys that everybody loves.
Yes, I agree.
True, but he still needs to be booed every now and then, though.
But I mean, like, yeah, and I just seen the progression. Like, I was not a fan of what happened at Bound for Glory and his matchup with that guy. And I mean, like, watching the Abyss stuff, like I said, I just want to see Eli Drake do his thing because he's a great talker. He's got skills, and just, again, better for Eli Drake, and don't be a dummy. Yeah, just had to be said.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking.
You know what though? Like you mentioned the Rising though.
Yeah.
If you look at it, Drew Galloway is in the top seeding of WWE. Micah is, I think are they tag team champs in New Japan with Gorillas of Destiny, Bullet Club, whatever?
Well, they were. That was I believe Los Ingobernables de Japón has the titles, but Gorillas of Destiny are a prominent team. Yeah.
But if you look at it, everyone in the Rising has moved up, and he's kind of just plateaued. You know what I mean? It kind of sucks.
It does. It does kind of suck. Well, I mean, you look at Drew now. He's got that WrestleMania match coming up with Roman Reigns. He's in a big, high-profile match. Micah's going to be in the tag match with the G1 Supercard coming up. But yeah, Eli Drake, now that you break it down, Chef, now you got me all depressed. You see, you're getting all angry. Now I'm getting a little depressed just thinking about that. We're evoking a lot of emotions on this show is what we're doing. Evoking emotions. E squared. I love it. So
we're in our feelings type shit today.
Exactly. Got me in the feels. All right. Speaking of getting in the fields, Chef, these next matches, well, two of them are you, and same with the third one, but we're going to start with this one. All right, we got ourselves, it's a rematch from MediaCon of their death match. Now it's a Monsters Ball match. I'm talking Jimmy Havoc versus Sami Callihan. Now, for me, personally, if I was to look at this, I think there's going to be a rubber match here, or Sami Callihan takes it. I can see it going either way, but I'm hoping Jimmy Havoc gets the dub. What are your thoughts, Nicola? Jimmy Havoc or Sami Callihan as Monsters Ball?
It's going to have to be Jimmy Havoc, purely because I'm a huge fan of his. I do love Sami as well, but obviously Jimmy's from the UK, so I'm going to back up, obviously, my home people. So, yeah, Jimmy Havoc, because he's mental in the ring and he does not give a shit if he gets cut, if he gets beaten. He just keeps going. He gets back up all the time. So I do love watching him fight. And them two together are quite brutal. So I think it's going to be a pretty intense match to watch, definitely. But I do see Jimmy walking away with the win. So, yeah, that is my opinion. As much as I love Sami, Jimmy all the way.
Now, I have to say this to you, Nicola. I did watch that first matchup. Just watching him, do the double stomp and thumbtacks, getting all on his feet. Oh, brutal. Now, Chef, first and foremost, I'm going to say it for you because I know you're going to say it. I see dub, baby. And who you going with, Jimmy Havoc or Sami Callihan?
You already know it's insane championship wrestling all day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I literally was going to sit back and say, how do I top what she said? Because everything she said outside of she's from the UK and that's her home people, because I'm not from the UK, so I can't claim that. But I completely agree with everything she said because Jimmy Havoc, listen, a lot of people want to say Mankind, Terry Funk, and Jesus Christ, there's another guy. Does it not matter who comes to my mind, obviously, are the most hardcore people they've ever seen. I've seen both of them. But if you watch Jimmy Havoc's work, that is the most hardcore guy I've ever seen in my life. He is the king of hardcore. I don't want to take that pun from Bram, but this guy's the king of hardcore. He's the king of insanity. He's the king of everything. Jimmy Havoc is just the most insane, badass dude when it comes to these ridiculously insane matches. Jimmy Havoc is going to, you know what? Jimmy Havoc is going to put a hurting on this boy. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to talk because I can keep going. I'm just going to keep rambling.
And by the way, I just want to say I love this woman because as soon as you said I'm not from the UK and she said I can say it because I'm from the UK, I like your style. We're up in the UK, Nicola. I like it. I hear you. I see what you're saying. I dig it. So, with me, like, we have a lot of, this is actually going to be very extreme. Like, I mean, here's the thing. I always had the thing, like, I liked Jimmy Havoc a lot from the UK stuff, and personally, I think Impact should have signed him because I remember the Rosemary storyline where it led to Bits and him and the Monsters Ball. I really think Jimmy should have gotten a contract with Impact, but I think just seeing him doing stuff in the UK and just going all over the place where he does, I think he's one of those unsigned talents, like, that's very unsung, and people should not sleep. Go ahead.
You just said he's unsigned, but he's signed with AEW.
Okay, my apologies. AEW. I forgot about that. Thank you, Chef. Yes,
sir.
He's with AEW, and I think he's going to shine there in AEW. I forgot about that, okay? I know everybody's talking about Allie now, but yes, Jimmy Havoc. Thank you, Chef. So
you know why I had to? Because we call you like the librarian. We call you the professor. We call you what is Jorge call you again?
Oh, friggin' the Bub Custis, yes.
Bub Custis, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things we call you. So for you to actually forget something was like, whoa.
Okay, it happens, okay? Even Bub Custis forgets things. So, I mean, actually, you just segued into something I'm going to do on a sidebar here. So, Jimmy Havoc, AEW. Nicola, give me your thoughts on Allie going to AEW.
This is a tough one because
got her.
You got me. You did. I was sad about it, but I think there's been too much hate on her from the Impact or from all fans, really. To be fair, like at the end of the day, she's obviously didn't re-sign her contract. Fair enough, that's down to her. She does what she has to do, but I don't like the hate she's been getting. I'm sad she's gone, but I wish her good luck and I hope she does bigger, greater things, kind of thing. But I was sad about the way they took her out of Impact. I weren't going to lie, that was quite sad to watch, really. If you know, yeah. So that's why I think I just wish her good luck completely. Obviously, 100%.
Okay.
Wherever she goes, she does.
So I got to get you again. Now I'm going to ask you the same question, Chef, because this all pertains to Impact Wrestling here. What were your thoughts about the Undead Realm thing where she got killed off?
Once again, I completely agree with her. I think that people get caught up too much on their own personal feelings of what promotion people should work for. Like, people got to understand these people are making the decision for whatever they think is the next best move for their lives, for their careers. For us to sit back, to me, it's wrong for us to say, hey, you should stay here. Like, no, we want them to stay here. We wish that, Impact had the money like WWE where they can get these, super exclusive contracts and, they wouldn't have to worry about people leaving. But outside of like WWE, we don't know about, AEW and how their contracts work or whatever. You're not really going to see that anywhere else. That's why these people work on the independents to make that extra buck. Hopefully she can go back towards her Cherry Bomb stage because I liked Allie coming in knowing she was Cherry Bomb. Kind of fell off with her. I was like, not really digging this character. But at the end of the day, and we all want, we wish all these talents the best of luck, and we want to see them keep growing. And let's face it, why would you not want to see a talent that you appreciate do something bigger, better? And I'm not saying AEW is bigger and better. I'm just saying in general, why would you not want to see them keep rising and progressing in their future?
All right, and on that note, anybody want to comment about the Undead Realm thing from back where they killed her off?
I don't. It was. It's the way they went about it. It was really cool. I liked all the Undead Realm and them in the ring, and then Father James standing there, and then
Kevin Sullivan.
Oh, sorry, and Kevin Sullivan. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, good.
His name. Quite clever. But, I liked the whole thing, but I think the bit that got me was Rosemary crying because she's a demon. I kind of thought, demons don't cry, kind of thing. So I was a bit knocked back with that, but I want to see the outcome of it. I want to see what she does now. I can see her going on this destruction thing. As I said earlier, I can see her basically causing a lot of chaos and hitting a lot of people.
There's a theme here. They're hitting a lot of people, yes. Chef on Dead Realm, go ahead.
You know what? My mama told me as a young kid that if I ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
I got told that as well.
Oh, I love my people. Okay, next, wow, next matchup. Here we go. Okay, it is a tag team match. It is the Latin American Exchange, Santana and Ortiz taking on Promociones Dorado, the team of Low-Ki and Ricky Martinez. Now, Promociones Dorado, for those that know with MLW, I know Jorge will appreciate this. That is his baby mama, or one of his baby mamas, Salina de la Renta. So I had to get the Salina de la Renta reference in there. We have a formidable team. You know, Low-Ki and Ricky Martinez, always been a fan of Low-Ki. Even when he was in the WWE as Caval and his initial run in TNA and GFW Impact, how many name changes we've had. I think he's a formidable talent, and I really am looking forward to seeing him against LAX along with Ricky Martinez by his side. Now, if I have to pick somebody, I'm going to go LAX. Nicola, who are you going with, LAX or Low-Ki and Ricky Martinez, better known as Promociones Dorado?
See, this is a tough one for me because I am a huge LAX fan, but I'm also always been a huge Low-Ki fan. But I know to see them all in the ring together will be mental. There'll be crazy. There'll be a lot of kicking, well, as you said, brutality, all of that. But I can say the same from LAX because they look stronger as a team than what Low-Ki and, what did you say his name was?
Ricky Martinez.
Ricky Martinez, yeah. I can see definitely LAX, but purely because they're so much stronger in the ring to watch. To know Low-Ki has obviously been in Impact for many years and WWE and all of that. But, yeah, I can see them two just storming both of them.
Chef, take it away.
You know what's crazy? I was going to start off my thing the same way she did. I love LAX, but I'm a big Low-Ki fan. This is hard. This is really hard because I always, like, if I'm a fan of you for years, I always stick with you. And I love LAX. It's never a question. Like, I love what they do. I love everything about them. I love LAX. But I'm going to go with Low-Ki. I'm not even going to go with the other guy. I'm not even going with Ricky Martinez. I'm going to strictly Low-Ki. Like, I'm just going with Low-Ki. Just because, I've been a fan of him longer. And I'm not the kind of person that, well, just for me, it's never an out with the old, in with the new. And because he's, it's the first time you've seen him back with Impact, I think that, it's such a dope look, especially the fact that he was with LAX and all of a sudden he was gone and now he's going against LAX. They've been talking shit. So it wouldn't surprise me if Homicide had gotten involved and goes at LAX. I don't know, but how dope would that be if somehow, he cost LAX and they start talking shit? I think it'd be a dope segue to do something later down the line.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, Homicide being LAX and OGs, I think I like your take on that. I like the angle. Now, I look at this, and I have to say this. Like, I've liked the build for this because, LAX challenged them and Conan by their side on their Twitter, and then Low-Ki comes back on the press pass in his Low-Ki voice, talking about, going after him. So, I mean, they've had a nice build with this, and him and Ortiz were on the line going back and forth. So, I mean, the build to this has been done very well, and I think these guys are going to shine, and I think LAX, as they do, are going to kill it, but don't sleep on Low-Ki because Low-Ki, again, is just amazing. So we're in for something special. And speaking of something special, gentlemen and lady, we are now at the main event of this show, which is the Extreme Rules Tag Team match. It is the Lucha Brothers, Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. versus Rob Van Dam and Sabu. Now, for me, I'm going to say the Young Bucks that are the Lucha Brothers, Phoenix and Pentagon Jr., the future, are going to put a whooping on them. And I think Sabu's going to be eating that pin. So my pick in this is the Lucha Brothers. Nicola, who are you going with?
This is a difficult one because obviously you've got RVD and Sabu, who obviously were kings of Impact many, many, many years ago. So it's like, but I'd say the same, the Lucha Brothers, because they're just badass and I love them to pieces. So, yeah, I love watching them fight, and they've always got something different, something extreme going on. Every time they always find a way to just basically beat the crap out of people, as you well know. I like that word. But, yeah, I see the Lucha Brothers topping these two, definitely.
You're a very aggressive person, Nicola. You're a very, very aggressive person. Oh.
Only when it comes to wrestling. In reality, I'm actually quite sweet and innocent.
I love this woman. Okay, go ahead, Chef. Chef, it's all you. Take it away.
You know what? I'm definitely going with the Lucha Brothers over the AARP guys.
Wow. Okay, go ahead.
You know, I mean, let's face it. I don't know what RVD and Sabu have been doing up to late. You know, I don't know where they're working. I don't know how their shape is. You know, shit like that. I just don't know. But at this point, there's no possible way that you would tell me that the Lucha Brothers would gain any value losing to these guys. Now, I don't want to use the word washed up, but they are older dudes. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure RVD still got it. Sabu, I hope he could put a match on like, you know, he used to. I used to be a huge Sabu fan, but I'm pretty sure with the style of wrestling he's done for so many years that his body has got to be beat the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see him, you know, moving around like he used to. If he does, God bless the dude. You know, I'll eat my words, you know, whatever. But Pentagon and Phoenix, these dudes are legit. You know what I mean? These dudes are just super serious talents. And, you know, it's Lucha Brothers all day. I don't think that there's any value of having Sabu and RVD beat them.
All right, now that is the official card, but I have a couple final points I want to ask you guys. Well, first and foremost, Chef, as I was doing some digging there, because you were talking about the AARP guys that are Rob Van Dam and Sabu. Sabu is 54 years old, and Rob Van Dam is 48.
Oof, that's getting up there.
So, now, what I have to ask you guys about is Rob Van Dam said in an interview that he'd be doing more dates for Impact. He stated, I believe the verbiage was, Impact has that RVD money. So I have to ask you your thoughts on a Rob Van Dam return to Impact Wrestling. I will start with the lady. Miss Nicola, what do you think?
I think it'd be great to have him back in Impact Wrestling, really, because obviously he was one, I'm not 100%, he was one of the originals, weren't he? If I'm right or am I wrong on that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, when he came in 2010, yeah, he was the one, part of the Hogan regime. He won the world title, and then towards the end of his tenure, he was the X Division champ. He beat Kenny King. So, yeah, he's one of those OGs.
Yeah. So I'd love to see him back because I think he would, I don't know, maybe in the ring, but as well as training backstage as well. I think he'd be good at that, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, I am looking. If he does, then I think it'll be awesome for them. I think it'll be another big name coming back, and I don't know, maybe it will up it a bit more. Not that it's bad at the minute, but I mean, it would definitely up it a bit more having him back on the scene and back in Impact. So yeah, I think it's a great thing.
Before we get to Chef, I will add this to you. Like you're talking about like a backstage role. Like they brought in Paul London as a producer. I think he's another mind, like you're saying. Like they're gonna bring in Lance Storm for these upcoming Canadian tapings. So I mean, you know, have another fresh mind back there, give advice and help coach the younger guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much, that's what I was getting at. Yeah.
All right, I'm analyzing, dissecting, and deciphering you, Nicola. I got to get you out there. I feel you. I just want to make sure. All right. So, Chef, your thoughts on Rob Van Dam possibly coming back to Impact Wrestling and the RVD money and the whole nine? Go ahead.
Well, I don't know what RVD money is. Like, I don't know.
I don't know what it is either, but I'm just like, okay, the Impact's got RVD money.
I'm gonna tell you now, like, I gotta fuck around. I'm gonna start talking about, yo, I ain't gonna do nothing with you unless you got that chef money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I might just start stealing that line because that shit is pretty interesting. What chef money? I don't know. But no. To be honest with you, like, if he can still go half of what he could, then it's an asset. You know what I mean? Like, he does have a name. I mean, he is 48, but like some of the pictures that you posted in the chat, he still looks really good. Like,
oh yeah,
he looks still in very great shape. You know, so I got no hate for that because if he was a little sloppy, I'd be like, nah, like send this dude packing. But I mean, to be honest with you, it's like Nicola said, if you also have a veteran backstage presence, you also have another guy that people would talk to and everything else. So it's a huge win. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't think that he should be anywhere close to being the face. Like, there's no way you should be putting him at the top of the card versus, like, you know, Killer Cross, or let him stick in that X Division, or you know, grabbing a young guy, making him a tag team partner and bringing him up like what's the guy they just signed? Shit, he has like the head thing, like
Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander, I think it'd be really dope if you could kind of have them two, where you have the veteran bringing in the new young kid. You know what I mean? Like, and have them as tag champs for a little bit. Go against the LAX, the Lucha Brothers, OVE, and all these other things. You could groom him really well and get him more out there in the time RVD is there.
Okay, now, Chef, I have to say this to you because I just want to get your response because I know how you feel about this guy. So, Josh...
You're going to make me hate. You're going to make me hate real quick. I feel it.
Oh, here we go. So, Josh Alexander, before he came to Impact, he was in a tag team with, who is also now on Impact Wrestling, All Ego Ethan Page, who was also Chandler Park for that short period of time. So, I think that... you see, you know what I'm saying, Nicola. I heard that. So I think that they're going to probably, if I'm guessing, I don't know, I'm guessing they're probably going to put those two back together in some capacity. I mean, what do you guys think about them putting back with his former partner that is All Ego Ethan Page?
I mean, go ahead. I'll let you go first, and I'll finish with the hate.
Okay.
No. You go first, because I prefer you with your hate.
All right.
You'll make more sense.
Okay.
Let the hater go first. Go ahead, Chef.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
So to be honest with you, I do know some of Ethan Page's indie work. Like, I do know, and I thought he was very talented. Mm-hmm. When he went to Impact, I think they just ruined him for me. I was just like, what the fuck is this? I just did not care after that. I still don't care. Once you're in a certain place and you get a bad gig, it's kind of like when you think of Mark Hamill, you don't think of all his actor things. You only say, oh, he's Luke Skywalker. Or like the guy who originally played Batman in the TV series, he's Batman.
Yeah, Adam West.
Adam West. When you get such a bad role, to me, you were always going to be Chandler Park. You know what I mean? And I thought that shit was whack. I know people were like, oh, it's the funniest thing ever. Was it really? I didn't find it funny. Maybe my ha-ha funny bone is not working. But I don't know. I just wasn't digging it. So I kind of lost steam with them. Josh Alexander, I didn't know nothing about, and we do have a mutual friend, Hurls, and he was like, bro, he's hyping this guy to be like the greatest talent ever. So I started researching. Dude is super talented. And to be honest with you, let him do his single thing. Let him just get his feel. You know what I mean? Because at this point, why are you going to stick him with somebody else? I don't even know their tag team group. So it's like, who are they going to fight against? They're not going over against the Lucha Brothers. They're not going over against OVE, especially now you just added the Fulton guy, mm-hmm. and now you have like 4 dudes in there. They're not going over LAX. And, I mean, the Rascals have a bigger following, and I think I'd like, I'm a huge Desmond Xavier fan. Where do they fit in?
I'm going to say it right now. I think they're going to go over Chef's number 1 favorite tag team, that is the Desi Hit Squad.
I could see that. I forgot about the Desi Hits. I thought they were disbanded.
No, they're still together, man.
Are they still on TV?
Yeah, very sporadically, yes.
Okay, because I thought I watched, and I just don't remember ever seeing them. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm just saying they're your favorite tag team. How can you miss them?
That's a rough one.
Oh boy! All right,
now what you got?
Go ahead, Nicola.
The same kind of thing. When I saw him as was it Chandler Park?
Chandler Park, yes.
Were doing, yeah, I was not into that at all. I'm in agreement with Chef with that. I didn't find it funny. I thought it was quite lame, to be fair, to watch, because I'd be sitting there going, what is his point? What is he doing? Like, he wasn't wrestling, he was just running around. It was like, what? Okay, you know what? Leave that dude. But then he went to Matt Sydal, didn't he? And started being like his third eye, all of that stuff. And I was like, nope, still not liking you. But I'm not a fan of his at all. At all. But he's good in the ring, but I'm not a fan of his whatsoever. Unfortunately.
Okay. So this is my last thing with the Impact take since we just predicted the card. There's another card coming up at It's Rebellion. Now, the first 3 matches have been announced. Obviously, we have Johnny Impact versus Brian Cage for the Impact World Championship in the main event. They did announce that the Lucha Brothers versus LAX for the tag titles is now a Full Metal Mayhem match. And we have Gail Kim versus Tessa Blanchard. So those are the 3 matches so far announced for Rebellion coming at the end of the month. And Nicola, I'd like to get your thoughts so far on what do you think about the card?
I'm loving it. Do you want me to predict who I think could win? Or is
hold on. Wait. Before we do that, we even do that, what we could do, because you know Jorge does not want to do prediction shows.
Yes.
He hates prediction shows. So what we could do is offer a second show to a certain person that's on here to do another prediction show.
There you go. I'm not asking to predict. I'm just saying, what do you think about the card so far? We'll save that when we do the prediction show. Just what do you think of the card is what I'm going to ask you.
I'm liking all of it. I think it's very strong. I think that there's going to be something for everybody. I think that there's going to be chaos. I think I just love the whole prospect of it at the minute. I'm loving every match I'm seeing appear. It seems to be really, really good. So, yeah, it's got a very big upbeat to it.
Okay, Chef, those 3 matches that I announced, are you looking forward to them?
Yes, but I'm more interested if she's going to come back for a second prediction show.
I think she would. You're more than welcome to.
Hold on, but we need to hear it. We need the fans to hear it.
Exactly.
Yes, I'd love to come back and do a show.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's going to be a lot of aggression on the next one. So now I'm excited.
All right, so we'll save that for the next one. But yes, that's what we have going so far for the next card and the United We Stand. And guys, this has been a lot of fun. I'm so happy that we got Nicola on with us. Chef, as always, it's a pleasure. I'm actually going to let the lady go first again. Ladies first. It's not just a Queen Latifah song. I'm talking about Nicola. Nicola, promote your social media where people can check you out.
If you want to find me on Twitter, I go under the name of Nick854. And I'm not sure about what my Instagram one is, so I'm a bit late on that one. But yeah, if you want to find me on Twitter, then yeah, Nicola or Nick. I go by Nick854 853. Sorry. And that's it. But thank you anyway.
Okay, Chef, go ahead, promote your stuff.
Tired of promoting myself, but I love doing it. So if you want to follow me, if you don't. I do not care. You can find me at Twitter, infamous S6X, infamous 6. Just saying. If you do, listen, show some love, follow my people, follow, subscribe, all that good shit. And we're going to have this badass chick one more time guaranteed. So it's about to get on and popping.
Alrighty, and you guys can check me out, MCLarkin92, StephenMikeShow.com, SMShow1. Just support the Bodega Wrestling, support Jorge, support Chef, support Nicola, support pro wrestling in general. Feel free to reach out to us. We're very, we're very cool. Unlike Chef, no, I'm kidding. Chef, you're very cool. I'm just saying, but you'll get very aggressive.
Don't ever hit me up if you don't want to do some harsh shit.
I know, man. I know. I'm only joking. Calm down. So. If you want to go at Chef is more. You're like Ludacris. You drop bows on him. That's what you drop bones on him. How you like that? You like that reference, Chef?
You know what? I kind of like that one better. I feel good about myself.
So, in all seriousness, folks, follow Nicola, follow myself, follow Chef, follow Bodega, support pro wrestling. This has been a lot of fun, and I'd like to thank you both so much for your time. So I'm going to take us out and say, for Nicola, for Chef, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you all so much for listening, and we will talk to you in the next edition of the Bodega Wrestling Podcast. Thank you, and have a great day.